Stripe. It's a toolkit that can monetize virtually any online business model. Its APIs are like low-level building blocks that can be used to accept payments, manage customers, handle recurring subscriptions, and more. Lyft uses it to take payments from riders and pay out drivers. DigitalOcean uses it to sell a metered software-as-a-service product. And Shopify uses it to implement a massive online marketplace. It's extremely popular with startups because of its developer-first approach. Instead of worrying about things like compliance, security, and fraud detection, you can focus on the user experience and implement your payment system with just a few API calls. So how does a credit card payment work? When a user is ready to make a payment in your app, you'll first need to create a payment intent on your server. The payment intent is kind of like a session that manages the payment process. Currently, it's in a state of requires payment method. Step 2 is obtaining the credit card details or payment method from the customer. You can handle this process securely on the web using Stripe.js. It's able to mount a customizable credit card form directly in your application. It automatically validates the user's input, so you don't have to worry about implementing your own form validation and all the edge cases that go along with it. When the form is submitted, you'll write a function that takes the payment intent from your server, combines it with the credit card details entered by the user in the browser, then calls Stripe confirm card payment to send this data off to Stripe servers. It will attempt to finalize the payment, but many parts of the world now have regulations in place that require additional authorization for the payment. The payment intent now has a status of requires action. Stripe will handle this process for you entirely in the front end, and once complete, your payment intent will move to a status of succeeded. Congratulations, you've just been paid. But you're not done just yet. You still need to fulfill the product somehow. Anytime something important happens in the Stripe API, like when a payment intent succeeds, you can listen to these events by setting up webhooks. When the event occurs, Stripe will send this data to your server so you can handle it accordingly, like updating your app's database or printing out a shipping label. This has been Stripe Payments in 100 seconds. If you're serious about monetizing your product, consider enrolling in my brand new Stripe JavaScript course. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Before we get into it, I first want to talk about the resources in this course. Most importantly, you can find all the source code on GitHub. This is the main source of truth for the code. Occasionally, things may need to be updated and fixed, and the GitHub repo is the first place any kind of update or bug fixes will be pushed. You'll also find code snippets attached to each video, so you can easily copy and paste this code as you go through the project. Now, to get the most out of this course, it's very important that you build your own project as you follow along. You're not really going to learn a whole lot just by watching the videos. The videos are short and fast-paced by design, and the idea is that each one gives you a jump start on your own code, so you can watch the video, build something, then move on to the next one. Now, in this particular course, what you'll notice is that with the code snippets, there's also a prompt template to modify this code based on your actual requirements, like maybe you're using SvelteKit with TypeScript and some random database. In that case, you can simply copy and paste the vanilla JavaScript code, then drop it into your favorite AI tool like GPT-4, Gemini, or Claude, and get things done a lot faster than writing the code line by line. It may not be the best way to learn, but the reality is that it's just a lot more efficient if you're trying to build something quickly. Now, to hit the ground running with this course, the only other things you'll need is to have Node.js installed on your system. I'm using version 20, and you can check the version by running this command in your terminal. Any recent version of Node should work, but if you want to update to the latest, I'd highly recommend using a tool like Node Version Manager. Now, the only other thing you'll need is a Stripe account. We're going to look more at the Stripe dashboard in future videos, but if you haven't done so yet, make sure to sign up for a Stripe account. And that's basically everything you need to get going. Throughout the course, if you have any questions or run into any issues, you can open up an issue on GitHub or reach out directly to chat on Discord. But before we get into the code, I want to take a quick look at the actual architecture of a typical payment flow. Imagine you built a tool where people can produce music in their browser, and you want to charge people $20 per month to use this service. The first thing you'll do is go to the Stripe dashboard and create a product to represent the thing you're selling. That creates a product ID, but that product also has multiple prices. A price can be created statically in advance, or can be created dynamically if you want to calculate special pricing for an individual user. Now, in your front-end application, you might have a button that says Buy Now. When this button is clicked, it will make an HTTP request to your server, and on that server, you'll have the Stripe SDK installed, which can generate a Stripe checkout session. That session can be customized in a variety of ways, but most importantly, it includes the price ID for the thing that the user is buying. Stripe will return a JSON object, and on that object, object, you'll find a URL. That URL goes to the hosted Stripe checkout page, and you'll want to redirect the user to that page. The user will get a summary of the thing they're paying for and have the ability to securely enter their payment details. The checkout session will then redirect the user back to a URL that you specify on your website, like a payment success page. When that happens, a few different things are created in Stripe. It creates a customer record that's linked to their email, and also records for the payment, the charge, and the subscription itself. But once that payment is made, you'll need to fulfill the order with your own business logic. Typically, that involves updating a record in your database that indicates the user has paid for the product. To facilitate that, Stripe will automatically send a webhook, which is an HTTP request that goes back to your server with information about the checkout session. You can use this data to update your database and send a confirmation email, then the initial process is done. But at some point in the future, the user may want to cancel their subscription. With Stripe Billing, we can also initiate a portal session where the user can cancel their subscription, and when that happens, Stripe will send another webhook to your server that tells you the subscription was updated. And when that happens, you can once again update your database to indicate that the user has canceled. That's what the basic process looks like. Now let's start implementing it in the code.